Good morning, Facebook. It's Thursday morning. This is Jennifer with themagicbrushink.com. Having myself a very satisfying green smoothie. It's fine. It's not that bad. Hey, I want to talk to you guys today, especially all of my creative friends who are on my Facebook page, about decision making, okay? And so as you come on, just tell me good morning so I know we've got some people here. It's saying Facebook's building an audience for you. And it's not that I don't trust Facebook, but sometimes I have found that once I get started, I don't have any comments and I can't see comments through the whole thing. And then I just feel like I'm talking to myself, and then that feels really lonely and awkward and weird. So tell me as you got some people there, because right now I've got 0 comments and 300 people. Yes, Diane, perfect. Okay, so I know I had an interesting title to this live. The road of life is paved with flat squirrels who couldn't make a decision. Friends, I have this on my desk. Okay, I have this on my computer. I don't know who was the genius that thought of that saying, but it is one I go back to time and time again. Good morning from chilly Colorado. It's chilly in Kansas City as well. Okay, so I'll show it to you. Dun, dun, dun. But it's going to be backwards because somehow we have to get Mark Zuckerberg to change the Facebook thing here so that we're facing the right direction. So what the quote says is, be decisive. Right or wrong, you need to make a decision. The road of life is paved with flat squirrels who couldn't make a decision. Okay, the reason I wanted to give you guys that quote is because one of the most popular emails that I get from creative women, you guys know that I coach a lot of creative women in growing their businesses. I also just get a lot of emails with women who just have questions, who just said they feel like a flat squirrel. I'm sorry. And so I wanted to read to you one of the questions I got this week, okay? It's from Melanie. Dear Jennifer, love what you do. Thank you, Melanie. I need help picking out what to do for a business. I have so many passions that I don't know which one would make a good business idea. From Melanie. Okay. So I'm talking to Melanie and every other creative woman on here, okay? So let me just break it down in the very simplest form for you, okay? God's gift to creative people is all the ideas, lots of ideas. You've got ideas about your kitchen and repainting your living room in blue. And maybe you're going to do your front door in red, and you'd also like to rip up the flooring and put in something different. You've got ideas on redoing the kids' rooms, and you change your furniture all the time, and you change your hair all the time. And oh, by the way, there's a new nail color that you love. That's God's gift to creative people. He gave you the ability to think and think and think and think and think and think and think of ideas. Anybody else? I like to say that having a creative mind is kind of like living in a pinball machine because it just blink, 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 blink. So many people will say they have ADD. They'll say they, have OCD or squirrel, or that they can't focus. None of that is true. You are just a creative person, and God designed your mind to have lots of ideas about what things could look like and envision them and those sorts of things, okay? So that is his gift to you as a creative person. Jamie, get him on a live, honey. I'll tell him because Mr. Magic finally gets my mind. Not finally, he's always got it. Thank goodness for that. Okay, so God's gift is that you have lots of ideas. Let me tell you what the Achilles tendon or Achilles heel to your future will be. All those ideas, okay? So this is what happened. God's given you all these ideas, and you're laying awake at night and you're thinking of, I could sew, I could bake, I could do earrings, I could do whatever. And the problem with creative people is they refuse, I'm just going to say it like it is, to reach up, grab one stinking idea, pull it down, and do it. Can I get an amen? That is your Achilles heel as a creative person. You lack a lot of times. Sometimes it's the confidence. Sometimes it's that you don't want to be forced to pick. I mean, I get that. I love a lot of things too. And there's all sorts of ideas I have for my house. And sometimes I think I don't want to pick. Okay, I get that you don't want to pick. I get that. But when you are emailing me, and I love you, Melanie, and that's why I'm taking this question live on here because I know it will bless other women. When you're emailing them and you're saying, Jennifer, I just can't pick. Okay, you can, you don't want to. Okay, you can, you just aren't. And so here's what I will say to you. If you feel like God is going to part the heavens, hallelujah, and just deposit one solo idea to you. I think he did that with the chicken guy who makes the fried chicken, Colonel Sanders. I think he did it for him. He had an idea about fried chicken. But us ladies aren't fried chicken people, okay? If you're a creative, like truly a creative, God designed you and wired you to be a creative person. You don't have one fried chicken idea. You've got all sorts of ideas. And so the same thing that God is blessing you with, the enemy is trying to destroy you with. So that lack of just taking one idea, pulling it down and just saying, you know what, I'm going to commit to this one this month, this one idea. So I'm going to commit to this month, picking a business name. I decided I'm going to sell earrings and I'm going to make them and I'm going to see what happens. What ends up, you are so welcome, Lori Cox. What ends up happening with women is we feel like that you're deciding, you're marrying your business idea for life. No, you're not. Okay, so few things on this side of heaven are permanent, ladies, okay? What you're going to do for a business is not one of them, because I'm going to tell you as surely as I'm sitting here, the very thing that you love and you're so all in and you're so passionate about today and you can't imagine yourself not doing, 5 years from now, you'll be like, so over making earrings. That is how, hey Sherry, I'm going to be talking to you in just a few minutes. I'm so excited about our coaching call. The same thing that you love and adore right now, you will probably be so sick of in 5 years. The reason is when you have a creative mind and God wired you that way, he didn't design you to do the same thing for the rest of your life, because you will go nuts, ladies. You remember that not a ping pong, a pinball machine. That's what your mind is. You're a pinball machine. So you're constantly going back and forth and ding, 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 ding in your mind as a creative person. It will bore you to tears to do the same thing for the next decade. I promise you. So when you're picking out a business name, pick something that will evolve with you. Don't pick, so-and-so sign company, because in 5 years you're going to hate making signs. The trends change. The passions that you have change. What is popular changes. Okay? And so you have to be willing to just start and pick one idea today and to see what happens. But so many of you, speaking of signs, are looking for a sign. God, give me a sign that this is what I'm supposed to do for a business. Okay. Rarely have I found that God actually speaks in an audible voice to me or to people that I know and chat with. Perhaps he does to you. And if so, amazing. But more than likely, you're not going to get some sign and the heavens are going to part and you're not going to hear a voice and yada, yada. You're going to feel a nudge. You're going to kind of have like an inkling. You're going to have a stomach ache over it. You want me to tell you how you're on the right path? Your gut's going to hurt. Ladies, that's how you know. When you think about it, you are half terrified, half so excited you want to just like pee yourself. I shouldn't have said that. Sorry. Can we edit the pee yourself out? But that's how you know that you're on a good track, when it's terrifying and you can't quit thinking about it. That's how you'll know. A nudge from the judge, says Laura. I love that. So if you kind of have a hunch, you kind of have a passion, you kind of have an inkling that maybe you're supposed to be doing something, I'm telling you, I love you enough to tell you this. God's not going to take that first step for you. He's given you the umph. He's given you the idea. He's given you the passion, but you have to be the one that steps out and makes something out of that. He can't do that for you. I don't know that God can make earrings. I'm sure he can in a majestic God way if he wants to. You know what I'm saying? He's going to give you every single thing you need along the way to accomplish what you need to in a business. If you think you're not smart enough, I will come into agreement with that. You're not, and I'm not either. That's why he brings other people alongside of us to teach us how to do a lot of things, to link arms with you so that they can help you in your business. God will never leave you alone in that stuff. He'll bring other people up next to you who can help you on your way, okay? Hey, Sherry, thank you for that. I appreciate you. And so I just wanted to encourage you guys. When I got, this last email, I thought, let me just go live with this. It's such a common thread among the women who I coach and women who are following my Facebook page, that they love so many things at once. How do I pick? Well, Eeny, meeny, miny, moe that crap if you have to. But at the end of the day, you have to pick something you love and something that will make you money, okay? Because we're not in business to be a nonprofit, ladies, okay? Some of you have kids that you need to feed and vacations you would like to take. And so pick something you love, pick something that can make you money, pick one idea and start. I hope that is so helpful. Hey, Kayla, thank you. Thanks, Tracy. I appreciate you guys being here. And so, when you think of questions, if you want to email them to me, feel free, and I can do this on occasion. I have a podcast releasing in 13 days, and I cannot wait. You guys, I already have one pair from HGTV lined up to interview. I already have one woman who won HGTV's Design Stars a few years ago, already lined up to interview. I have some business people. You guys are going to love it. If you go to my website today, themagicbrushinc.com, there's a tab up at the top that says podcast, and I don't know if it's even working yet. Maybe I shouldn't tell you. Okay, I'll tell you anyway, but maybe it's not working. Emily, if you're on here, my assistant, I hope it's working. But you can sign up to be sent an email the first time one of my podcasts goes live. And one of the things I'm doing on the podcast is taking reader questions and just answering them on there for you. Donna, thank you for sharing this. Sharing is caring, my friend. Thank you. I appreciate it so much. Sherry, if he's given you the umph, then you just be willing to take the first step. You're so welcome, Jamie. Bless you. Hey, Maria, I'm so glad. I am addicted to podcasts. Why didn't I start a podcast a year ago? When Mr. Magic is watching the morning news, I listen to a podcast. When I'm sitting painting, I listen to podcasts. I don't do music and radio and that sort of thing. I don't do a lot of television unless, right now, I'm addicted to Sneaky Pete on Netflix. I think we're watching it on Netflix. Does anybody know what I'm talking about? Sneaky Pete. So good. You totally got to tune into that. So we do watch that late at night, but otherwise I don't do television. I don't have TV. I work from home all day long and I don't have television on. I listen to podcasts. I try to immerse my mind in knowledge and inspiration and things that'll actually take me somewhere. Ain't nobody got time for bogus television. That's just my opinion. Thank you guys so much for sharing. So a podcast was just totally like the next thing in line for me. I should have done it a year ago. Let's see, a podcast you watch on an app, Tommy, on your phone or through iTunes? Yay for Sneaky Pete! What podcast do I listen to? Okay, so I listen to Dale Partridge's podcast. Marie Forleo just released hers this week. I would always listen to Marie's coming through email, but now she actually has a podcast. I listen to Young House Love. I listen to Stephen Furtick's Elevation Church. I listen to podcasts from my own church sermons. Who else do I have on there? Dan Miller. I listen to his podcasts. I've been listening to a couple, and I couldn't tell you who they're by, but talking about health and wellness. And I listen to Jamie Ivy's. So there you go. There's just a handful of them right there that I listen to. Podcasts are fun. And here's a little tip for you. Okay? I know I talk fast, and I like to say I talk fast because I think fast, and I'm not trying to convince you that I'm smart, because that's not it. Okay? I would like to think it's because I'm smart, but I don't think that's it. I think I just think fast, all right? So for those of you who think fast, talk fast, and you want to listen fast, if you go to the podcast app, turn that puppy on like 1.25 for the speed. Like instead of listening to it at normal people's speed, it will speed it up to 1.25 or 1.5. Sometimes I feel like the 1.5 is too fast for me and then I can't catch it all. I know that there's another podcast I wanted to tell you. Lewis Howes, I listen to him all the time. Dale Partridge is probably my favorite at the moment. Who else? There's one more I'm missing. I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'll think of it as soon as we're off of here. But yeah, if you think that, okay, this is kind of dragging on, put it at a higher speed and it'll go faster, and then you can listen to more quicker. Because I got stuff to go, places to go. I got to listen quick. Tommy, okay, go to my website, themagicbrushinc.com. At the top, there's a little tab for podcasts. Oh, Justin and Laura, I just spent the whole last 15 minutes saying when you have so many ideas in your mind, you grab one idea and you execute it. One, because all those ideas are both God's blessings to you and the curse of your business in your future, because people refuse to just pick one and start. And then they get to be where they're 80 years old and they think I should have started my business in my 40s. And I say yes, and they say, I couldn't pick, and so sad. I'm so sad about that. Pick something. No, you won't be able to listen to them on Facebook, Sylvia. So if you're on an iPhone, go to the podcast app. And then, oh, thank you, Trisha Dixon, my girl. And just put, if you go to my website, themagicbrushing.com, there's a spot where you can put in your email. And as soon as the podcast is up, you can listen to it on my website, and I'll send you it in my emails. So, all right. Bless you guys. Danielle, one idea. Oh, you know what? I'll try to do that, Sherry. In one of my emails, I'll try to send out my list of favorite people to listen to. It is incredibly imperative that if you want to be a strong, successful business owner, that you immerse yourself in strong, successful information all the time. That you're not listening to nonsense, you're not listening to gossip, you're not listening to banter on Facebook that doesn't matter, you're not listening to people whose opinions don't matter. It's important that you listen to people outside of your industry who are really successful in their industry, and you'll learn more from that than by watching what's going on in your industry any day of the week, for the love. So, okay, bless you guys. I have 2 coaching calls with my one-on-one clients here in just a little bit, and I want to prepare for them so that I am smart and ready and on the ball. So bless you guys. I hope this was a blessing, and I appreciate you sharing so much. Pick one thing. Pick one thing. Pick one thing in my best elf voice and do it, okay? Pick one thing. That's your assignment this week. All right, bye-bye.